Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Śrīla Vyasadeva, the author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namo. Namaha Pankajanaabhaya Namaha Pankajamaline Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangriye Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear Vaishnavas, for joining. We are reading Granth Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 9. The Lord incarnates as Mohinī-Mūrti. So we discussed till text number 23 yesterday, and we were talking about the distribution of the nectar. So now Mohinī-Mūrti is distributing nectar. A big dining hall has been arranged. The demons on one pankti line and the demigods on one line. Mohinī-Mūrti is talking very politely to the demons, and they are feeling, oh, she will give the nectar to us, she'll marry us. Maybe she's giving little drops to the demigods, but after all, she will give it to us. So they have that hope. But she is doing justice, because to do injustice with those who are doing injustice is actually justice. Like to punish a murderer is doing justice, it's not injustice. So similarly, those who are demoniac, to deprive them of nectar is justice, because they will use it for wrong things. So like that, she is feeding the nectar to the demigods, and she's depriving them of the nectar. But the demons are still feeling, oh, look at her, they are happy with the nectar of her good words, which is not the real nectar. So that's what we were reading yesterday. And then she said, oh, you are all heroes, you're all great souls, and it is better for you to wait. You're all patient people, tolerant, kind, all good qualities. So like that, she is speaking sweet words. Let's see what happens next in this chapter from text number 24 onwards. Hare Krishna. Deva linga pratichannaha swarbhubhanur deva samsadi pravishta somam pibach Chandra arka bhayam suchitaha. Translation and purport. His Divine Grace, D.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Rahu, the demon who causes eclipses of the sun and moon, covered himself with the dress of a demigod and thus entered the assembly of the demigods and drank nectar without being detected by anyone, even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The moon and the sun, however, because of permanent animosity toward Rahu, understood the situation. Thus Rahu was detected. Purport: The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mohinī-Mūrti, was able to bewilder all the demons, but Rahu was so clever that he was not bewildered. Rahu could understand that Mohinī-Mūrti was cheating the demons, and therefore he changed the dress and disguised himself as a demigod and sat down in the assembly of the demigods. Here one may ask why the Supreme Personality of Godhead could not detect Rahu. The reason is that the Lord wanted to show the effects of drinking the nectar. This will be revealed in the following verses. The moon and sun, however, were always alert in regard to Rahu. Thus, when Rahu entered the assembly of the demigods, the moon and the sun immediately detected him, and then the Supreme Personality of Godhead also became aware of him. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining. So now we discussed that the demigods were fed the nectar and the demons were deprived of the nectar. And they were having conversation like, look at this Mohinī-Mūrti, she is not going to give. Some were feeling that she is cheating. Some were feeling, well, what's going on? Some were agitated, but others were saying, no, we have promised her. How can we say now that? And some said, no, after all, she'll give few drops. Otherwise, why will she so kind towards us? Others were feeling that, no. If we speak anything now, then we will be in the bad books of her. Then it is not a good moral behavior. And in like that, they were thinking all these reasons. And finally, one demon, Rahu, who eclipses the sun and the moon, who causes the eclipse of the sun and moon, he disguised himself. How he disguised? Wore the same clothes of the demigods and went on the pankti, the row where the demigods were sitting. And Prabhupada is making a very, very important point. The Lord is Parameshwara, the Lord is omniscient, Satchidananda, eternal, in all opulence, all knowing. One of the 6 opulences is he is all knower, infinite knowledge. Now, how can he not know that Rahu has disguised and is on the other side? This question someone may raise. And Prabhupada is beautifully answering from the commentaries of the Acharya, because the Lord wanted to show the effects of drinking the nectar. So then we will see this in the following verses that maybe we will see. I don't want to kind of reveal what is going to come, but how he the effect of drinking the nectar will be seen, that because the Lord wanted everything. The Lord is all knower. Nothing can move without his will. But he wanted this to happen. So the Lord acted as if he doesn't know. And then the sun and the moon god told the Lord. And then the Lord became aware of it. So let's see what happens when he moves to the other side. Did he get a chance to drink? Did everyone catch him, or did they start fighting? How dare you come on our side? Let's see. Raise your hand if you would like to read. You haven't read. Yes, Vishal, Prabhu, happy to see you.
Hare Krishna. It's nice. Tadavat Pranam, all devotees. Text 25, Prabhu. Chakrena Shura Keshara Darena Chahara Pivata Shira Haris Tasya Kabandhastu Sudaya Plavito Patat. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, using his disc, which was sharp like a razor, at once cut off Rahu's head. When Rahu's head was severed from his body, the body, being untouched by the nectar, could not survive. Purport. When the Personality of Godhead, Mohinī-Mūrti, severed Rahu's head from his body, the head remained alive, although the body died. Rahu had been drinking nectar through his mouth, and before the nectar entered his body, his head was cut off. Thus, Rahu's head remained alive, whereas the body died. The wonderful act performed by the Lord was meant to show that nectar is miraculous ambrosia. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Shalfu. Happy to see you after long. So, this is the effect of drinking the nectar. As soon as the Lord saw Rahu, and from where did the Sudarshan Chakra come from, right? When we were talking about the description of Mohinī-Mūrti, we didn't see the demigods or the demons saying the one who holds Sudarshan Chakra. They were all describing her waist, her legs, her smile. But now, Chakrena, the first word of this verse, with a very sharp, like razor sharp chakra, she, or the Lord, is chopped off the head of Rahu. So the body being untouched by the nectar could not survive, but the head survived. So in short, only the nectar had reached till the neck portion, and the body was dead, but the head survived, to show the effect of the drinking of this wonderful nectar. And I think there is a wonderful picture also. Those who have the hard copy can see this wonderful picture. And I'm going to share on the WhatsApp groups as well, because some of you may not have the picture or the book or either. So I'm going to share, and then we can display it on the screen as well. So very, very beautiful Leela, and devotees have made these amazing pictures to show the amazing pastimes of the Lord. So I hope you can all see this. Yes. Mohinī-Mūrti beheaded Rahu with her razor-sharp disc. So looks like the sun and the moon god saw the Rahu holding the cup of nectar. So the body was dead, but the head survived. This is this famous, beautiful pastime. Okay, let's move on to our next verse. Would someone like to read text 26? Prabir Prabhu, want to read?
Okay. Hare Krishna devotees, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Text 26. Shira tu amaratam nitam aja graham atsiklipat jatu parvani chandra arko abhidhavati boiradhi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Rahu's head, however, having been touched by the nectar, became immortal. Thus Lord Brahma accepted Rahu's head as one of the planets. Since Rahu is an eternal enemy of the moon and the sun, he always tries to attack them on the nights of the full moon and the dark moon. Purport. Since Rahu had become immortal, Lord Brahma accepted him as one of the grahas or planets, like the moon and the sun. Rahu, however, being an eternal enemy of the moon and sun, attacks them periodically during the nights of the full moon and the dark moon. Hare Krishna Prabhu, back to you. Please explain.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Often we may have heard this phrase, Rahu Kal is going on, that Kal means time, that you're in your second house, Rahu is present, or in your fourth house, Rahu is present. So your inauspicious time is going on and stuff like that. Or Shani has entered the 10th house and things like that. So, but the more we take shelter of the Supreme Lord, the less these things will affect us. The more we take shelter of materialistic ideas, materialistic thoughts, then the more these things will affect us. We remember in the story of Prahlad Maharaj, he was affected by one graha, Kṛṣṇa graha. That is a good graha to be affected. That means that the Lord, those who are pure devotees like Prahlad, who have taken full shelter of the Lord personally takes the reins of their life, and whatever happens is orchestrated by the Lord himself for the well-being of his beloved child, of his beloved son or daughter. Because a loving mother or father would not do anything wrong for their children. Similarly, the Lord, our dearmost mother, father, well-wisher, lover, brother, cannot orchestrate anything wrong. All we need to have is to have that faith that my Lord will always protect me, like Prahlad had. So this is about Rahu and how he attacks moon and the full moon and dark moon and the sun. Any other comments, additions, questions anyone has? Okay. Okay, let's read the next verse, text number 27. Raise your hand if you would like to read.
I can read, Prabhu.
Prabhu, please.
Dandavat devotees, text number 27. Ito pa emruta dever Bhagavan loka bhavanaha Pashyatam Asurendranam Samrupam Jagruhe Harihi. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of a Godhead is the best friend and well-wisher of the three worlds. Thus, when the demigods had almost finished drinking the nectar, the Lord, in the presence of all the demons, disclosed his original form. Hare Krishna, back to you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. So now, actually, this happened in front of practically everyone. Rahu was on their side. The demons they saw that our brother has been killed. By whom? By this wonderful lady who we were thinking that she will be our wife, she will feed us nectar, she will do this for us. But this is not just a lady, this is the Supreme Lord. So, and by this time, the demigods had almost finished drinking the nectar. So Lord's, a few very nice words are used to address the Supreme Lord. Loka Bhavana, one who maintains the three worlds. And then the best friend, Shitam, Asur Indrana. He is the best friend of everyone. And even killing of the demon like Rahu or others is actually great blessing, because like we have discussed multiple times that the curse of a saint is also a blessing. So killing of the Lord is not actually the killing, it's actually a great blessing, because what could be a greater fortune than to be killed by the Supreme Lord? But then we should not aspire to become inimical towards the Lord, but that's also one of the ways to remember Lord. Not recommended, but Narad Muni did mention in Canto 7, we discussed that, and that's also one of the ways. So here, now the identity of the Supreme Lord or Mohinī-Mūrti was disclosed, that she is not just a beautiful lady, she is the Supreme Lord. So now it's interesting. Now let's see what happens, because now the secret has been disclosed. Anyone else wants to read, or Ms. Ekant, you have your hand up?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Yes, Mitesh, please.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Text 28. Evam sura sura gana samadesha kala hetva artha karma matayo api phale vikalpa tattamrutam suragana phalam anjasha pur yatpada pankajaraja shraya nan na daityaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada. The place, the time, the cause, the purpose, the activity, and the ambition were all the same for both the demigods and the demons. But the demigods achieved one result and the demons another. Because the demigods are always under the shelter of the dust of the Lord's lotus feet, they could very easily drink the nectar and get its results. The demons, however, not having sought shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, were unable to achieve the result they desired. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 4.11, it is said, Yeyata mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajami aham. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is a supreme judge who rewards or punishes different persons according to their surrender onto his lotus feet. Therefore, it can actually be seen that although karmis and bhaktas may work in the same place at the same time with the same energy and with the same ambition, they achieve different results. The karmis transmigrate through different bodies in the cycle of birth and death, sometimes going upward and sometimes downward, thus suffering the results of their actions in the karma chakra, the cycle of birth and death. The devotees, however, because of fully surrendering at the lotus feet of the Lord, are never baffled in their attempts. Although externally they work almost like the karmis, the devotees go back home, back to Godhead, and achieve success in every effort. The demons or atheists have faith in their own endeavors, but although they work very hard day and night, they cannot get any more than uh, their destiny. Prabhuji, this is a long purport. You want me to finish it?
Up to you.
The devotees, however, can surpass the reactions of karma and achieve wonderful results even without effort. It is also said that phalena parichiyate. Once success or defeat in any activity is understood by its result. There are many karmis in the dress of devotees, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead can detect their purpose. The karmis want to use the property of the Lord for their selfish sense gratification, but the devotee endeavors to use the Lord's property for God's service. Therefore, a devotee is always distinct from the karmis, although the karmis may dress like devotees. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 3.9, Yajnat karma nonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanat. One who works for Lord Vishnu is free from this material world and after giving up his body, he goes back home, back to Godhead. A karmi, however, although externally working like a devotee, is entangled in this non-devotional activity, and thus he suffers the tribulations of material existence. Thus, from the results achieved by the karmis and devotees, one can understand the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who acts differently for the karmis and jnanis than for the devotees. The author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita therefore says, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Atetva Shanta Bhuti Mukti Siddhi Khami Sakili Asanta. The karmis who desire sense gratification, the jnanis who aspire for the liberation of merging into the existence of the Supreme, and the yogi who seeks material success in mystic power are all restless and ultimately they are baffled. But the devotee who does not expect any personal benefit and whose only ambition is to spread the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is blessed with all the auspicious results of Bhakti Yoga without hard labor. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Please tell your realizations.
Prabhuji, from the previous purport and this purport, I understood that Lord Kṛṣṇa is really so merciful, even to the demons. And I don't know. I mean, Prabhuji, with this purport, what I understood was devotees are always in the shelter of the lotus feet, and we cannot just put a dress or dress up like a devotee and try to false propagate that I'm a devotee, because ultimately I may cheat you, I may cheat others, but it's Krishna who will be judging me at my final times. So I feel, I don't know, Prabhuji, that's what I think. I don't know, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. This is a very, very important verse, and if you forget everything, of course, see, the Leela is there to bring us to wonderful lessons. Because especially in Kali Yuga, we may not be much attached to philosophy. Everyone likes to hear stories. But the story without a meaningful lesson is just pious entertainment. A lot of people watch Ramayana on TV. A lot of people watch Mahabharata on TV. But how many of those become, give up the wrong things and take sincerely to the path of devotion? Very, very insignificant number. Why? Because many don't understand through proper bona fide Guru's parampara. So this is a very, very nice verse telling the difference between the demigods and the demons, the divine and the demoniac. Now someone may say, what is different? Was the time different? No, the kala was same. Was the desha different? The place was same. Was the desha, kala, patra, sama, everything was same. Because the purpose was their objective different. They all wanted nectar. The demons also wanted nectar. The demigods also wanted the nectar. Everything was same. But the demigods achieved one result and the demons achieved another result. Correct? We all saw that. Why? The answer is Yad Pad Pankaja Raja Shrayan na Daitya. Those who don't take the shelter of Yad Pad Pankaja Raja. You can remember this. Pad Pankaja Raja. The Pankaj is lotus, Pad is feet. Pad Pankaj Raja. The dust of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. That means devotees take shelter. The Suragana, they take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then they achieve the desired result, not because of their own things, not because the time becomes different, but by the mercy of the Lord. And those who don't do so, those who na daitya, that means those who don't take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, are demoniac. It's not that demoniacs have a certain color of skin, or they have two horns and they look ugly, or it's not nothing like that. They were also dressed very beautifully. So it's and Prabhupada is mentioning here so beautifully, and Mataji also highlighted that point. There are many karmis dressed as devotees, but the Supreme Lord can detect the purpose. The karmis want to use the property of the Lord for their selfish sense gratification. But the devotee wants to use the property of the Lord for God's service. That's the day and night difference. What is day for devotees is night for the demoniac, and vice versa. This is the difference in consciousness makes one devotee or non-devotee. It's not that devotees don't go to work. It's not that devotees don't have family. This is, some people think, oh, devotee means that I have to give up my wife, give up my family, give up my children, give up my everything. This is not, Arjuna also asked the same question in chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita. Does being a devotee means to take sannyas? Krishna said, an immature person may feel like that. But to be a devotee means Krishna conscious, a state of Krishna consciousness. To remember Krishna at all points. This is not my home. This is not my body. So I must not do things for my own sense gratification. I must act in such a way which will please my Guru, which will please Krishna. I must use whatever Krishna has given me, whether the family, kids, car or home or work, etc. The objective should be to please Krishna. And I must not act like a crooked. I must not become Rahu, inside demoniac, but take the dress of a devotee, of a divine personality. Otherwise, the Lord will chop us with a razor sharp if we act crooked. And in short, we should be straightforward. We should be simple, humble, honest, and because the devotees take shelter of the Lord, they get the desired result. Because the non-devotees don't take shelter of the Lord, they have to, their same pursuits, their same, wealth, home, property, job, become a source of problem. And actually, I want to bring our attention to these two verses. In chapter 5, we read those. I'm just going to read the translation. Karmis are very anxious to accumulate wealth for sense gratification. But for that purpose, they work very hard. They have to work very, very hard for their own sense gratification. Yet, even though they work very hard, the result is not satisfying. Indeed, sometimes their work results only in frustration. But devotees who have dedicated their lives to the service of the Lord can achieve substantial results even without working hard. These results exceeds the devotee's expectations. So quite similar words. This is in Canto 8, chapter 5. And text 48 also. Activities dedicated to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even if performed in small measure, never go in vain. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, being the Supreme Father, is naturally very dear and always ready to act for the good of the living entities. So, two very nice verses in this connection. And these demigods, they're the prayers of the demigods in chapter 5. So, and we see this is happening here. That everything was same. They were also doing equal effort. Demons were also doing equal effort. And they were in the same place. But what was the outcome? One were deprived of the nectar and others got the nectar. So, why? Yadapad pankajara raja shra yanyan. So, Very nice verses. The difference between divine and demoniac. And a practical lesson that we should never act as karmis in the dress of devotees. We should try to be genuine devotees. Even if we are not at that level, we should be genuine in whatever level we are and keep moving forward and forward. Any other comments, additions, and questions, anything? Any reflections on this? This is like the core. And for those who really want, this is a memory verse also actually in this little Bhagavad Ratnamala. I'll also try to. Yes, Vishal Prabhu.
I just wanted to thank you, Prabhu. Tonight, I mean, it's not very often I do get to come to the calls as my job cuts into the time, but the one night I was able to come, the verses we read, they resonated very heavily with me. Even though I don't get the chance very often, when I do come, I always feel very enlightened, and a lot of anxieties are relieved, especially after working all day. So this is very pleasurable, and I thank you for having tonight. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. And we are so happy that whenever situations allow, you're able to join, and we feel very grateful for your association. And actually, today is even more special because one of my school teachers, all the way when I was maybe 10 years, 12 years old, has joined. So Aparna, madam, would you like to speak something? I'm so blessed and grateful that you are joined. I'm very, very honored and fortunate. Thank you. So you want to say something?
Yes.
Please, welcome. Thank you for joining.
I should say pranam, dandavat pranam. Sometimes I feel frustrated that hard labor is not applauded in this materialistic world. What I feel, your philosophy was well interpreted, but I felt like that.
That's true. That's true. It's not applauded probably by whom we may expect to applaud, like our boss may not applaud our hard work, right, Vishal? Our family members may sometimes not applaud, oh, I work so hard, and but still they are pointing faults. But one person will always applaud, and that's Kṛṣṇa. That's our Supreme Lord, Supreme Friend, Supreme Mother, Supreme Father. So if we try to develop our connection closer with the Lord, then, and we just read, even little endeavor will lead to a lot of result. So, of course, you are senior to me, you are my teacher, you have taught me so many things. I'm no one to teach you anything, but I'm just repeating the words of Bhagavatam and Srila Prabhupada, that if we try to develop our connection, and that's what recently one of my teachers, my spiritual teachers told me. I was also kind of feeling some level of frustration, and I discussed with him. He gave me the same advice, which I'm repeating, that develop your connection more with Kṛṣṇa. Develop your connection more with the spiritual master. In a prayerful mood, talk to them. Share your sorrows, share your joys with them. And you will feel, we will feel our connection is growing. And in multiple ways, he will reciprocate. So that's ultimately, if Kṛṣṇa is pleased, if the Supreme Lord is pleased, everyone is pleased. And if everyone else, so-called everyone is pleased, but that does not really please the Lord, then what good is that so-called pleasing? So of course, that doesn't mean we give up our duties and stuff. We have to keep trying, But let's try to derive the nectar from the Supreme Lord more and more. If we feel that our sense of self-confidence and worth lies in how others will react to those, then we will be always like a let's not give the remote control of our emotions to others who don't really you know like to our sense of self-worth or self-confidence to our boss, right? Of course, material world, we have to do our duties, but we have to give that to Krishna and to Guru. So I recently had this discussion, so I'm just sharing. Um, and you will see, we will see magic when we try to develop that connection closer through prayer, through chanting, through Bhagavatam, through our devotee association. It will do miracles.
Thank you. You. Thank you.
Is it your first time you're joining here?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please try to connect as and when possible. We are so blessed and grateful. Okay, Bhaswati Mataji, you have a comment or a question?
Dhanyavad Pranam Prabhuji. Yes, I have a question. Can you please tell me like how I will distinguish between karmis who dress like devotees and devotees, because karmi is also doing devotional service. Like, can you please? I do not. I have a question like here. How I will identify a karmi and devotees.
And there are like stages, like 100% karmi, 100% devotee. And then there is all the shades of gray in the middle. 10% karmi, like there is, and that's what Bhagavad Gita also teaches, chapter number 3, the yoga ladder. We cannot immediately, but the point here is not to be crooked. If I am, 10% attached to Krishna and 90% attached to my own senses, but if I broadcast to the world, oh, I am a pure devotee, I have no desire for anything else, then it is crookedness. Then it is not being seen. So we should never be crooked. Simplicity is the core of Vaishnavism. So we should be simple and straightforward. If we have attachment, we should open it up to Krishna and to our teachers who will guide us accordingly. Correct? Like Kardam Muni, he said, okay, I want a wife. I want a wife to get Krishna conscious children. So he was not, saying that, I don't know, I don't want a wife and all that. So whatever our state is, that I'm attached to X thing, I can't do Y thing, etc. I'm having difficulty in following this, or I want to follow this and things like that. We all know our strengths and weaknesses. We all know what is best, but we may not be able to do the pure devotional level, like the 100% Nishkam Karma Yoga. But if we say to the world, no, I actually, you know what, I'm going to Disneyland so that I can distribute books there. Maybe I'll distribute one book, but rest 90%, 99% of the times I will enjoy there. But the whole world I'm saying what? Oh, I'm going to distribute books. I'm not attached to Maya, right? So I'm just giving one, very like general example. And it's okay. It's to say, and on the other hand, someone could say, well, my teacher, I'm not so attached. I'm not so renounced. So a lot of my friends are saying that Disney has this and this. So I also have desire to go to Disney. So I want to actually go one time. So And but I promise you, I will not eat outside. I will pack prasadam and I'll eat that. And we will not break any regulated principles. We will not do indulgent smoking, drinking, meat eating, etc. But we want to go, and this is my desire. So you see the difference there. That's the difference. One is honest, one is not pure devotee, but one is honest. But at the same time, we should try to gradually uplift ourselves. As I said, we cannot develop great habits in one day. If we are doing something, let's say eating unhealthy food, in my kids' class last time, I asked the kids this difference between different types of food, and all of them agreed that they eat unhealthy food, and all of them know. They're smart kids. So I asked them that, okay, how many days are you eating unhealthy food? And then they said, some said 3 days, some said 4 days. So I just requested them, let's try to reduce by 1 day. If you're eating 3 days, can you eat just 2 days, etc. So first knowing where I stand and continuously striving to get better without being a crooked person. Anyone wants to add or correct, feel free to please jump in.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Now it's very clear to me.
And then Mataji, you want to add something? You're so mature and experienced devotee.
Dandavad Pranam, Prabhuji. Mataji, I actually had thought of something, but I forgot your question. Please forgive me. I have.
So, Mataji, my question was how I will identify karmis and devotees. Like that was the question.
Yeah. So thank you, Prabhu, for allowing me to speak. Dandavad to everybody. We also need to remember from in addition to what Sri Vilas Govind Prabhu said, in Canto 4, Bharat Maharaj was dressed as a karmi, so because he even worse than karmis. So sometimes we can just let Kṛṣṇa reveal to us, just like Kṛṣṇa revealed Rahu's identity in time. So, and we can just we can take lessons from a fly and a bee and anybody else too. So at my stage, at least, I feel that much I don't need to worry about who is dressed differently and who is real karmi and who is a real devotee, because Mishra Bhaktas are also there. We are at that level, and we can just focus on our sadhana and we can just give Kṛṣṇa to others. And then when people, this is my opinion. Of course, it's very important to stay away from karma, the people you want to avoid their association because they can be bad influence. And praying, I think, is the best method. Thank you. I hope I said something worthwhile. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nandini Mataji. Okay, so tomorrow, as we already mentioned, is Friday. So we will have the quiz for chapter number 7 and 8. So if you want to be the top scorer, please study at least the translations, and we'll keep reading this chapter. We're almost towards the end. Actually it's one more verse only left. So we will read that verse tomorrow, do a summary, take some reflections, and the quiz will be for not this chapter, but the previous 2 chapters. So please, that's the program for tomorrow, and then the weekend special classes. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Kripasindubhyo eva patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.